well, I wasn't crying during the last 7 kilometres because I was kind of concentrated on getting to a particular line that was painted on the road 7 kilometres away as quickly as I possibly could. It was from when I even just getting a gap, because obviously pretty marked rider. We're down to, I think, the best 13 riders in, well, at least on that day, with 7 kilometres to go to win a world championship. No one wants to let anyone go, but also at that point in that race, particularly because it was such a hard course, everyone was pretty exhausted, so they don't want to waste chasing down an attack unless they can get away themselves. And that's when a bit left in reserves, and I could get that gap and then go away. It's I think I've been twice within, once in particular in '99 at the Mountain Bike World Championships, I think a kilometre and a half from the finish, and a rider caught me on the downhill. I had a crash, and he became world champion, and I became another loser in the race. So it's not over till it's over, and I've been in that situation before, so you concentrate on getting to the finish line as safely and as quickly as possible. And but yeah, to get back to my point before, from when I just first got a gap, from that point onwards, it really became, I think, every bike rider's dream, and even far beyond every bike rider's dream, and yeah, just getting to the finish line as quickly as possible.
The images tell the story, but there's just a small moment when the camera gets stuck behind Kolovnev and Rodriguez, and by then you're up the road, and eventually the motorcycle decides this is the guy who's going to win the race, and he chases you down. And he follows you, and there's an amazing sequence where you're just out of the saddle and you're in the big chain ring and you're pushing the biggest gear. And I think I asked you if you traditionally rode over that in the big ring, but can you just talk? I think there's a few bike riders in the crowd who'd like to know a little bit of technical detail. Did you have a power tap on? Do you know what wattage you were doing? Do you know what gear you were in? Etc., etc.
Let's not bore all the non-bike riders in the room. So I got a gap. The climb there, it's called La Terrazza. It's one of, I think, of about the 4 or 5 roads to get home to where I live in Switzerland, the little village Stabio. It's 6 kilometres, 8 kilometres, I think, from the house where we live in Switzerland. So it's also one of the 2 most trafficked roads. So I've actually ridden it many times in all sorts of conditions, in the snow, exhausted, fit, unfit, in every state, and I have never, ever ridden it in the big chain ring. Until the time that counted. And I've actually been scared on my training rides after the Worlds for the last races that I did to actually even go and ride it again, because I'm too ashamed to ride up it in the small chain ring. But my coach also just happens to live about 5 or 6 kilometres from there as well, and he went there with his instruments and went and did some calculations and goes back to the TV and runs some times and does the maths, and yeah, he did work out what my power was up there, bottom to top, and I won't say what it was because...
Come on, everyone wants to know.
You don't want to know that, but I rode 53.21 up there, and out of the saddle most of the way. I don't even know what the average gradient is. I think it's about 7% average. It gets quite steep near the top. There's flattens out in the middle in front of the pizza shop, and yeah, it's pretty steep at the start as well. It's I know it pretty well. Like I know so many sections of road around the world that are so uninteresting to everyone else in the world. But it's hard. It takes. If you can get up it in 5 minutes, you're going well, and I would have ridden, I think, in about 4:20 or something up it on that one time. It was also the 19th lap of 19 laps, and it was also the most silent the crowd was. Well, the crowd was, the first half was just Italians. In the middle there was the Spanish, and then afterwards came the Dutch and the Belgian and Chiara and her family right at the top. they were quite loud on that lap, but everyone else was just an eerie silence riding up there. Oh, I'm going to go and win this world title. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think there was a few disappointed Italian and Spanish fans in there. But after the experience at the Vuelta, I wasn't sorry about that at all.
And I guess after the experience on stage 8 of the Tour de France, when you tried to put yourself in a move and